Hi, I'm Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach, and thank you so much for stopping by this video and the channel. Before we go any further, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure that you get all the latest, freshest content regarding how to build your voiceover business and make it a profitable, underline, italicize, bold, profitable career. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. And again, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Today, I want to dive into a topic that's critical. It is mission critical in building your voiceover. And I'm going to talk about audio, the technical aspect of audio. Specifically, let's talk about audio engineers. What is an audio engineer and why might you need one? In this video, I will answer the questions. What is an audio engineer? How can an audio engineer help you? And finally, how in the world do you find an audio engineer? So let's get right into it. I think one of the first things that we have to stop and talk about, because this is really, I think this is the elephant in the room that people don't want to talk about, not because they're embarrassed to, just because they want to get to the good stuff. The good stuff meaning recording voiceover projects, auditioning, the stuff of voiceover. But the reality is, a big part of that product that you're creating, a mission critical part of that product is the audio quality that you produce. And so the challenge is this. Nowadays, the vast majority of us do almost all of our work from home. Rarely are most of us called into a studio. And even if we, for instance, I had a job not long ago where they gave me the option. Hey, do you want to come downtown into the city to a studio or do you want to record from home? Well, given that option, it ended up being like a 10-minute session. I can spend several hours and travel in, or I can do it from home. Obviously, it makes sense when you can to do it from home. So that being the case, we are given this challenge of making sure that we can create high-quality professional audio, because that is as important as any other aspect of your business. Because it is as important as any other aspect of your business. It is as important as your performance. It is as important as your marketing, because the technical quality of what you do, in large part, is the quality of your product. But many, if not most voiceover talent, aren't formally trained in how to operate a DAW, a digital audio workstation, how to record, how to edit, what do you need to know about equipment, setting it up, gain staging, setting levels, processing audio. The fact that you have to learn that before you can really do much of anything else is a non-starter for many people. And it's one of the reasons a lot of people just drop out, because they just get frustrated or they never do master it and they never are able to create a high quality product. And usually it's because they did not seek out the help of an audio engineer. So let's talk more specifically about audio engineering and an audio engineer. What is an audio engineer? Well, for the sake of example, let me use my son, Alex. Is a professional audio engineer. So now Alex is back when he was a kid, when he was in high school and I was early in my voiceover career, I hired Alex to edit audio for me during the summer. So I taught him how to work with Adobe Audition and how to record and how to edit and all of the things that go along with that. Well, Alex is also a musician. He learned how to play the guitar when he was younger, and he ended up being with a band. They recorded, they toured. So he had exposure to audio from that end too. So before we go any further, just understand he already had a pretty good working knowledge of audio from a couple of different directions. But Alex wanted to pursue that as a career. So he ended up attending the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, which is in Phoenix, which put him through a very formal and rigorous curriculum of learning all of the aspects of recording, of being in a studio, equipment, and of course, all of the software components of that, how to record great audio, the whole 9 yards. And so out of that, he now works with voiceover talent, but there are several things that a person like Alex can do. And yes, obviously he's my son, and he works with my students, so I will be mentioning throughout this. But there are a number of good engineers out there, and when you find one, they can really help you do some amazing things. Primarily getting high quality, great sounding audio, because remember, it is as important as what? Your performance is as important as your marketing. It's as important as anything else that you do. So the first question: what can the audio engineer do for you? Well, first of all, They're going to help you get set up for great audio. What do I mean by that? Well, they understand equipment, microphones, audio interfaces, computers, all of the technical aspects, the hardware sound chain from beginning to end. What do you need? The space that you work in, because the space you work in is as and usually more important than the equipment that you work with. So they understand those dynamics from a hardware and from an acoustical standpoint, the space that you work in. They'll help you get set up to maximize what you have. Next, they'll teach you how to properly record and edit audio. And I understand that, if you're coming at this later in life and maybe you didn't spend a lot of time with computers and it can be a bit overwhelming, this is a learning curve. I mean, let's be honest about it. It seems, and it is very intimidating at first. It's certainly a skill that can be learned by anyone, but you need to get familiar with the basics of a computer. And then you need somebody like an audio engineer who can take you through the process and show you how to do the actual hands-on recording and editing of audio. They'll also teach you how to properly process your audio. Things like equalization, compression, normalization, all the things that you need to do to finalize that audio to make it sound competitive. So we know what an audio engineer is and what they're capable of. We know what they can do for you. But now that we know that, how do you find one that can help you out? Well, the first place I would start is by listening and talking to other voiceover talent, because word gets around. People talk about what they like and what they don't like. And the good audio engineers get talked about within voiceover circles. So talk to some folks, ask who they've used, ask who they've heard about. And that is a good place to start. But beyond that, you need to listen to the work that the audio engineer has done. And when I say work, it could be, I don't mean necessarily what they've recorded, but the audio that's been produced in the environments that they've created. Go to voice talent who have used an audio engineer. Listen to what they're putting out and what they're capable of doing. Because my philosophy has always been, if it sounds good, it is good. So again, ask around. Who do people like? Who do they work with? What does their audio sound like? In addition to finding an engineer, when should you work with a good sound engineer? That's a really good question. There's a couple of suggestions that I have. Number one, when you're first getting started. I think it's imperative. When you are setting up your space to work in, or when you've moved to another location, because the acoustics will change. And you need somebody who understands the dynamics of that space you're working in, and they will help you make sure that you soundproof it the best you can, and they'll help you to treat it acoustically the best that you can to get the best sound possible. And also they'll help you set up the sound chain or the software plugins that you need to get the best sound possible. So whether you're just getting started out, or maybe you've been doing this for a while and you feel you're not getting the most out of your business, have a diagnostic checkup. Contact a well-respected, experienced, professional audio engineer to take a listen to what you're producing. And they can tell you if you are doing it the best you can, if you're maxing out your potential. Chances are there's some things that you can do to make it sound even better. And they will help you to get it to that level. Now, I'm going to put Alex Deweese, my son and professional audio engineer, his contact information below in the description so you can check out him. And make sure that as you're looking around, go out and take a listen to the work of 2, 3, 4 different engineers. Ask opinions, but make sure that you find somebody who is helping people create high-quality audio. The emphasis of what I do here, and I talk about it, I know every time I do a video, but it is so true, and that is it's to help people be profitable in their voiceover career. And having quality audio is a big part of it, but it's a lot more than that. When I first started off coaching, which was in 2009, it started off rather humbly, doing some one-on-one sessions, creating a few programs. But over the years, my vision has really materialized. And that was to create a broader, almost university approach to voiceover. Let me explain. Prior to being in voiceover, I was a college professor for a number of years. And I loved, and I headed up a broadcast communications department. And one of the things I loved about that was that I was able to have a professional staff of broadcast pros. We operated in an actual radio station in addition to a campus station that the university had. And we were able to bring in students to be mentored and taught under the pros within that environment. So it's almost like a university hospital where you have real doctors doing real procedures on real people, but you have students who are there to watch and to learn under the supervision of those pros. And so the VoiceOver Blueprint, which has been in operation for a number of years now, is that very same model in that I've developed the curriculum, which is streaming audio and video on demand that you can access whenever you need it, covering everything from the tech, the performance, the marketing, the business aspects of VoiceOver, all of the different aspects of VoiceOver. But that's not enough. It's not enough to be told what to do. It's also important to have a chance to talk with your instructor, to talk to other students, which is why part of the VoiceOver Blueprint is now an almost daily live coaching webinar, so that whether it's to talk tech, whether it's to talk marketing, whether it's to talk performance or a number of other topics, you could actually interact and learn in real time. In addition to that, you have the community, the students who are in the program in my private Facebook group, so that you have a chance to interact with them, questions, comments, and on top of that, as I work during the day, I live stream into the group so they can watch as I work, so that I can show them. It's not just telling people how to work, it's showing them how to do it. And also below in the description will be a link so you can go and learn more about that. Because remember, if you're not profitable, you've got a great hobby. But in my experience, having worked with hundreds and hundreds of VoiceOver talent, I could say probably without exception, every single person I've worked with hoped to be able not only to make money, but for that to be able to support them and their family. And if that's your hope, I hope you'll go below, click the link and check it out. Thanks so much for stopping by. Remember, if you're going to be in VoiceOver, you need to have a good audio engineer in your corner to make sure that you help produce a great quality product. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.